Hey there, it's your boy Playful PJ, and just like the title says, today I'm going to be talking about how I got my skydiving license. So this could be a really long video, so I'm going to go ahead and cut to the chase and start going. Two main reasons for this. One, I kind of just want to reminisce, and two, if there's anyone out there who kind of want to see what a process is like, I hope this gives you some insight. Alright, flashback. I'm 8 years old and I'm sitting in front of my TV watching the Power Rangers Mighty Morphins movie. Yes, that one. It was awesome. Anyway, the opening intro is them on a plane wearing their Power Rangers colors and just dapping each other up, getting hype and about to do a skydive. Next thing you know, they jump out and they're doing all these crazy flips and tricks, and that was the moment right there for me where I decided that yeah, that's gonna be me one day. And basically it's what I taught myself would it be like to be a Power Ranger. Now fast forward and me having a quarter life crisis, and basically I figured I needed to knock something out of my bucket list. And what better time to start skydiving than right now? Luckily there is a very reputable program down in Rayford, North Carolina called Paraclete XP, and so I went ahead and signed up. Keep in mind that it was actually February, it was very cold, and nobody wanted to come with me. But I figured if I don't do this now, I'm just not gonna do it. So I signed up for my first jump course, and here's a quick video of me on my way to that course, just to show you exactly kind of what I was thinking. Hey, what's up everybody? I have currently left Raleigh and on my way to Fayetteville. Hella nervous, possibly terrified, but left my last work call and currently on my way to Paraclete XP skydiving to get my first course, or my ground course lesson. I'll update you when I get there, and it is raining outside, so possibility of jumping tomorrow is kind of low. So I made it back to Raleigh. It was actually like a 4 or 5 hour course, so it is pretty late. I have to get back up in the morning and get there again by 7:30, because today we did the course one. We learned everything about what can go wrong with skydiving, as well as, you know, how to survive in a lot of situations, and kind of just learn the basics of the whole entire process. So that was cool. Tomorrow we get to start putting into action, provided it doesn't rain as much. We'll be doing some outdoor exercises as well as the wind tunnel, so that's gonna be really cool. Yo, so as predicted, didn't get to jump today, but we did do the air tunnels practice. That is so much harder than I thought it would be. Definitely got better. My first one was just horrendous, but I ended up getting a lot better. Still have a lot of work to do. Really makes you think how it's gonna be in the sky. Guess I will have to catch you in about a week or so. They are open 7 days a week, so I might be able to get a hop in one day, one morning, and it'll be my first hop, so we'll see. Like I said, weather wasn't ideal, and so it actually took me like 3 weeks for me to actually get my first jump in. So here's a little vlog video of me talking about how that went. So guys, yesterday I did my first jump, level 1. Not gonna lie, I wasn't as scared as I thought it was gonna be. You know, my instructor Jim kept asking me the higher and higher we got up the plane, like, are you scared yet? And I was like, no, not really. I'm not sure why. I can't tell you why. I was more excited than anything, especially because it has been about a month of me trying to go back with the bad weather and, you know, me being out of town to get the jump in. So we actually went through a small retraining of the gear check, of, you know, the proper procedures for getting out of the plane, as well as proper form. So I felt pretty prepared and refreshed. It was really good that we did that. Jim was the man. He was on his 9,000th jump that day, a 19th year anniversary actually of jumping out of planes. It was really cold. I went on a really cold day, which meant that the air was really, you know, it wasn't hard to breathe, but it was, you know, tougher than usual. And apparently first-time divers, it's pretty normal that they forget to breathe when they jump. So I wasn't breathing consistently, and trust me, when the air is hitting you in the face like that, you need to breathe. One lesson that I definitely learned is during the warp, the acronym for wave, arch, reach, and pull, I actually pulled and forgot to let go. So I was actually holding on to the end of the parachute and it wasn't deploying. I was just waiting for it to deploy, and so my instructor kind of pointed at me and was like, "Hey, you should let go." And I was like, "Oh crap." So once I let go, parachute fully open. So from there on, I was super stoked. I was screaming at top of my lungs. I was like really excited that I had made it, and the world just kind of became mine. When I've made the accurate turns and landed, I slid because I didn't want to try running, landing on my feet for the first time. So I actually had a pretty smooth landing, just kind of slid on my butt, and talked to Jim. He got me all excited, and yeah, this is my new obsession. So as you saw, I was very excited and very proud of myself for actually going through with it. And although we had a long way to go, at least we have taken our first step. So let me break it down for you so you know exactly how this course is structured. Jumps 1 and 2, you jump with an instructor and he's holding on to you the entire time through until you pull your chute. Jump 3 is when you also jump with your instructor and he's holding on to you, but he lets go about halfway down once you're stable. Jumps 4 through 8, you're still jumping with an instructor, but this time he is not holding on to you and you have to stabilize on your own. Jumps 9 through 16, you jump with a coach, so he's also going to be teaching you some more skydiving things, but they don't have the quite level of an instructor. Jump 16 and 17 are the low altitude jumps, and I'll go a little bit more into that later, but you jump by yourself on these. Now jump 18 is your graduation jump. You jump and you do a 4-way with 3 other skydivers, whether it's coaches or instructors, and you do a formation test. Then jumps 19 through 25 are just repetition jumps. You jump by yourself and you can do anything you want, but you're still a student. You just have to get those repetition jumps in until you get to 25. Once you finish your 25th jump, you get to take a little test and have a little ceremony, and you become an officially licensed skydiver. FYI, this is the program that I took at Skydive Paraclete. I know other programs are similar, but they will differ here and there. So just keep that in mind. Now on to jump number 2. This one was a special one for me. So I'm gonna let PD from the past go ahead and tell you what went down. All right, so like I said, went back on Saturday and actually got 1 jump in before I had to come back to Raleigh. So although didn't get as many jumps as I wanted, the second one was a doozy. So before I actually jumped out of the plane, my instructor Jim told me, "Hey, stop fucking having fear and start having fun." I don't know what it was. Something snapped in my head. I gave him a big smile, a couple thumbs up. I was ready to go. I actually was ahead of the game. I knew exactly what I was going to experience. I knew I was going to get hit with all the wind. So I have been practicing my breathing techniques. This time, it took me just a second or two to catch my breath. And I relaxed a lot more. My hands went limp. I was smiling. I was having a blast. Jim kept giving me a thumbs up, so I knew I was doing great. I felt great. I was able to enjoy it a lot more. Once this leg is healed, going back for round 3, 4, and 5 hopefully in one day. I'm taking off a full day of work again. Hopefully I can get at least 3 jumps in. So we'll see what happens next. So yeah, basically that became my mantra throughout the entirety of my skydiving process. So Jim, if you're seeing this, thank you so much. That's helped me out with every single jump. Next, we do jump number 3, and this is the one where they let go of you during the jump. So let's do another flashback clip. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? So here to talk about my 3rd jump that happened over the weekend this past Saturday. First of all, it was a beautiful day. It was extremely sunny. Weather felt great, and this time I had a different instructor. His name was Trip. He was awesome, and he was very confident, and he made me feel like I could, do this. So in this one, he actually fully lets go of me. I'm supposed to do a couple of practice touches, as well as turn left and then turn back right. So you will see in the video, I'm kind of like turning around a little bit, and I honestly didn't even think that he let go. At one point, I was just like, felt pretty secure. I felt pretty stable. And I look in front of me, and he's kind of flying right along in front of me. So I was just like, wow, I'm actually doing this by myself, which was an awesome feeling, So moving on, jump number 4 went completely fine. This is the one where I jumped completely on my own and I had to stabilize by myself. But jump number 5, I actually failed the dive flow. Now what this means is that you're actually being tested on a different maneuver or a different dive flow every single jump. So if you don't pass it, then you have to retake it. So let's do a flashback clip of last year me to talk about it. Hey guys, so I made it home. Not as good news as I thought. So I actually didn't pass my jump 5. So during the 360s, I did them, but I didn't keep my eyes on the horizon. So I didn't have something to indicate to the instructor that I was actually rotating willfully, which is very fair. The next level is front flips and stuff. So if the instructor doesn't feel that I'm prepared for it and that I still need to practice more 360s on this, both left, right, and going forward, then I definitely need to do it again. But this jump actually still counts towards my total 25. So although I didn't pass level 5 and get closer to wearing my own helmet, I still got a jump in, and so I'm pretty stoked. I promise that's the last flashback clip. The reason I wanted to use those is because it's a lot cool if you can see me actually talking about it while I'm still in the moment, since it's been a little while. Anyway, I went back and redid jumps number 5, passed it this time, 6 and 7, no issues at all, and then we got to jump number 8. And this one was a special one for me, and let me show you why. The reason is because once you get to jump number 8, if your instructor thinks you're ready, you're allowed to purchase and wear your own full head helmet. I personally love this thing because not only does it look badass, but also it really drowns out all of the noise and all the air when you're up jumping. So when I actually had my 8th jump, I felt like I was floating. It was so peaceful up there, which is an insane feeling when you're actually falling at 120 miles per hour. Now I'm gonna put this right here so it's with me for the rest of the video. So here's where things starts to speed up a little bit. And the reason being is because the instructors have additional certification and they handle rookies 1 through 7. So there's not as many of them, but there are a lot more coaches to jump with, so the wait times are shorter. This is when I started getting 2 jumps at a time, 3 jumps at a time. So it really does start to become easier. So I don't want to get too deep into this, but jumps 8 through 15 are when you start getting into more in-depth stuff now that you got the basics down. Things like front flips, back flips, barrel rolls, jumping out of the plane in different positions. But basically all these are not being tested on how well you do the flips, but how well you become stable again after knocking yourself into an unstable position. There's also formation training, which is cool to know when you're gonna be jumping with other people. And most importantly for me was tracking. So this is when you see people put their hands behind their back and go forwards or away from somebody. And this is mostly for safety precautions, so you can avoid hitting other skydivers, or you can go towards someone if you're gonna make a formation or something like that. So this is a very basic and important skill to learn. Now, I'm gonna get a little bit serious with you because I think it's important that I go over this matter as well. So skydiving is a relatively safe sport, especially if you're doing everything by the book and carefully, but sometimes things can happen. So on my 13th jump, I actually had a very successful dive flow. I was doing the front flips, doing a 360, I was doing everything right. I remember feeling really good about it. The last thing I had to do was I had to track away for 8 seconds and hold my position against the horizon and then pull my chute. Unfortunately, I was failing at the track, and instead of accepting that I wasn't gonna complete it, I became stubborn and I attempted to do it again. I looked at my altimeter, which is what tells you where you are in the sky, and I knew I was approaching my pull altitude, but I wanted to get this done. Here is where I actually lost my stability again, and this time, because I was already getting so low, I didn't have enough time to become stable again. The first rule of skydiving is if you're in danger or you feel not safe, first thing to do is, no matter if you're stable or not, just pull your chute. I, however, felt like I wanted to be perfect on this. I don't know why everything was going so fast. I tried to regain my stability, and then I eventually grabbed it and pulled, and everything seemed fine. I was just kind of like, wow, that was crazy. It wasn't until I got down and I sat down and my coach told me how dangerous that was to do that it actually clicked in my head, and it kind of hit me that things could have gone seriously wrong. I remember going home that night and just processing everything, and I was disappointed in myself because I was all about safety throughout my entire process, and this time I kind of failed to practice that. Definitely took me, I will say that definitely pushed me back a little bit. I got a little scared, and I didn't go back for like a month and a half. I don't know, I really wanted to take a break and just separate myself for a little bit. Now, I don't want to say this to scare anybody. I just want to be very transparent on, something that happened to me. But I promise, if you stick to what you're taught, you'll be completely fine. So another big benefit of skydiving is the community. I really wanted someone that I could talk to about this, current situation and help me get over the hump. So I turned towards my skydiver friends, coaches, instructors, and basically just asked for a little advice. They definitely know how to comfort me. They've been in situations like that before, and they let me know, sometimes you can have a bad pull. If this is something you truly enjoy doing, then learn from it, let it make you better, and get back out there. And honestly, that's good advice, not for just skydiving, but for everything in life. And so that is exactly what I did. I knew I had a support group now, and so I prepped myself mentally, and I focused on the big prize at the end, which was my skydiving license. So that being in the past, I passed my 14th and 15th jump with no issues at all. So like I said before, jump 16 and 17 are hop and pops. Now what this means is that instead of jumping at the regular 13.5 thousand feet, you jump one at 5,500 feet and one at 3,500 feet. Sounds a little nerve-wracking, I know, but it's actually very simple because you're not going up against, your ultimate fall speed. You just dump and you pull, and then you have the entire landing zone to yourself. It's actually very peaceful. Finally, jump 18th was the big one. So this is the one where you do your formation graduation jump. Now I have two different angles from two different skydivers that I was up with in that formation, and this was honestly my most fun jump. Now we did a formation, we were throwing each other around, we were just having a good time. And although that was all fun, the reason that it became very memorable for me, because this is the first time where I felt like I could hang with these guys. I was nowhere near their expertise level, but being able to jump alongside them made me feel that maybe one day I could be there. And this was a really cool moment, and it was a graduation ceremony in the sky, which not many people can say they have experienced before. Jumps 19 through 25 were pretty simple. It was just me jumping on my own and getting those repetition jumps in, and it was pretty cool because I was able to use all of the skills and like all the maneuvers and all of the lessons I've learned throughout the entire process to have safe, fun jumps on my own. Once I got done with my 25th jump, I remember coming down. I was very excited. I knew that I was finally able to get licensed. So I took my test, I passed it. It's not that hard at all. It's basically everything you've already learned. I had a little bit of ceremony, and I got this big A stamped on my head, which is pretty funny because this whole time I've been looking forward to getting stamped on the head. But I was ecstatic that it had finally happened. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I had goosebumps, butterflies in your stomach before every single jump. Every single one of them. But I think that is the great part about the sport. If you weren't feeling that excitement anymore, then you wouldn't get really jazzed up about doing it. So I feel like that craziness that you feel about, wow, I'm about to jump out of a plane, that doesn't go away. And it's part of the reason why you feel so alive when you do it. One last thing that I wanted to mention that I want to save for the end is, I know I talked about always getting butterflies before you jump, but something else that always happens is right before they open the doors, right before all the wind comes in and you start feeling cold, there's a moment where everybody, and that's veterans, tandem, students, they start dapping each other up and telling each other, have a safe jump. Let's get out there. See you down on the ground. It's just a moment of camaraderie where everybody is hyping each other up, and there's smiles on everyone's face, no matter how scared they are, because you feel like you're not doing this alone. And just like at the beginning of the Power Rangers movie, where that's exactly what they were doing, it was a moment of realization for me that, wow, I'm doing it. I've wanted to do this, and I'm doing this with other people now. This is awesome. So I highly, advise you to look forward to that moment, because it truly is something special. So my leaving words will be, if this is truly something that you're curious about, something that you really want to do, just do it. First step is just sign up. Sign up for that first one. That's gonna be the toughest part, trust me. Yes, I was afraid of jumping out of a perfectly good airplane, but I was more afraid to be older and looking back on things that I regret not doing. So go and do it. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment, DM me on here, DM me on Instagram. If you want to get a dialogue going, you just have questions, you're curious, and you want me to help you, give you a final push, you know where to reach me. Oh, and remember, stop having fucking fear and start having fucking fun. Until next time, peace.